What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Thomas chokes Luna after directing his rage towards his father. Ridge wiggled at the last minute when he had to choose between the two women who had controlled his life for decades. But Thomas wasted no time in getting back from Paris to make sure his parents got married and Brooke didn't meddle again. In the most recent ad for Bold and Beautiful, Thomas snaps at his father after confronting Brooke. Additionally, a united family faces Luna, who is unable to flee this time, after Will comes to a startling understanding about what happened to him. Ridge immediately went to Brooke to pop the question after splitting from Taylor, knowing that he would ultimately break her heart once more as usual. She said yes, of course, and Carter was announcing Ridge and Brooke as husband and wife before Taylor could even finish telling him that the engagement was to Thomas. As he approaches, a furious Thomas cries, "Tell me, Dad!" at his father, who is with Brooke. "Let me know if she is lying." In the meantime, a distraught Taylor snaps at Eric for encouraging his son to break up with her and get back together with Brooke. With Liam's assistance, Will was able to identify the source of the mysterious messages on his phone last week, Lee's apartment, where he discovered a very much alive Luna. Not understanding the feelings or his reaction, he backed away from her in disgust until she showed him Elektra's party mask, at which point he made sense of everything Luna had done to him. The jig is up for Luna this week. Bill and Katie rushed to their son's side to face Luna as a family after Will was able to hint at his mother with a cunning phone call. Katie is furious with Luna for exploiting her kid. "You're searching for the term, rape, Katie." When Lee sees how wicked her granddaughter is, however, she loses it and swoops for her throat. This isn't the last time we've seen Luna, is it? Is Brooke's reunion in jeopardy as Ridge's jealousy flares up as Taylor moves on? Thomas lashes out at the wedding and begs Ridge to expose Brooke's deceit. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, Thomas Forrester will be devastated by the wedding news and will ask Ridge Forrester to deny Brooke Logan's deception. Thomas simply stormed into the Forrester design office and launched into a furious tirade. Thomas has stated unequivocally that he is tired of Brooke and the harm she has caused to his family. Of course, given that Ridge has made a solid decision, Brooke might essentially tell Thomas that it's too late. Thomas will become even more irate when Brooke flaunts her marriage and flashes her jewelry. Thomas will find it hard to accept that Brooke and Ridge were able to get married so soon. Brooke will assert that she is now actually Mrs. Forrester, even if Thomas will attempt to pretend that this is just further trickery on her part. When Ridge notices the chaos, he realizes that Brooke needs his assistance in facing Thomas. Ridge will defend Brooke and pressure Thomas to hold him accountable for Taylor Hayes' grief once he enters the fray. Thomas will become fixated on the marital updates and want Ridge to expose Brooke's deceit. In order to get Thomas to back off and accept his choice, Ridge would instead display his own wedding band and declare that Brooke is his wife. Although Eric Forrester will make an effort to feel sorry for Taylor, she can pressure him to save it now that he has what he wants. It will hurt even more when Taylor finds out that Ridge and Brooke are already married. Taylor will predict that this reunion will end in a catastrophe, just as it has so many times in the past, even though Eric thinks Ridge and Brooke belong together. Remy Price will still be in shock about Luna showing up at his flat and requesting assistance. Will Spencer is poised to corner Luna, whether Remy admits it or not. Spencer, Bill Lee Finnegan, and Katie Logan. In the upcoming episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna is said to lose control of her plans, so keep an eye out. When Ridge Forrester had to choose between the two women who had dominated his heart for decades, he may have wiggled at the last minute, but Thomas wasted no time in returning from Paris, determined to force a reality where his parents stood united and Brooke Logan was finally and permanently removed from the family's orbit. As a result, when Ridge, still susceptible to Brooke's charms, went straight to her with yet another recycled proposal after splitting from Taylor, Thomas chokes Luna. The events of The Bold and the Beautiful are nothing short of a cascading storm of betrayals, family implosions, and violent reckonings that reverberate throughout Los Angeles. The fact that Brooke had said yes without hesitation or that Carter Walton had hurried the ceremony didn't matter. What mattered was that, as soon as Taylor Hayes whispered to Eric that she was engaged to Thomas's father, Carter declared Ridge and Brooke husband and wife, solidifying the betrayal in Thomas's eyes. At that moment, the son became the accuser, storming into the Forrester design office with his fists clenched and his eyes wild, his rage not only for Brooke's deceit but also for his father's weakness. The rest of the family could already see the storm brewing as Taylor yelled at Eric for forcing Ridge back to Brooke, and Ridge stood slack-jawed next to Brooke, who proudly showed off her new wedding band as though she was putting a dagger to Taylor's wounds. A storm that would soon engulf Luna Nozawa in its whirlpool, as Liam Spencer pieced together the truth behind the enigmatic messages pinging Will Spencer's phone, and he and Will had followed them to Lee Finnegan's apartment, where Luna stood shockingly alive, the mask she had worn at Electra's party now clutched in her hands like a grotesque calling card of her deceit. Poor Will, staggering backward, devastated and enraged, could hardly comprehend what had been done to him until the mask made everything sickeningly clear. So when Bill Spencer and Katie Logan rushed in after Will's desperate coded call for assistance, the entire Spencer-Logan-Forrester triad bore down on Luna at once, Katie yelling that what Luna had done was nothing less than rape. As Luna gasped under Lee's hold, clawing at her aunt's hands, she could see Thomas charging into the room like a man possessed, his rage at Ridge now directed at the weakest available target, and before anyone could stop him, her voice cracked with anger and protective maternal pain, while Lee's rage took on a physical edge. The good doctor lunged for her niece's throat, screaming, "You're evil!" as her hands closed around Luna's neck. This was an echo of a generational curse that seemed to cling to the Forresters and their orbit, violence begetting violence, betrayal giving birth to betrayal, and violence begetting betrayal. Because Thomas had long claimed that he was done with darkness, that his obsession with hope and his manipulations were behind him, the mask of redemption was shattered in that moment, revealing a son who could not control his anger at a father's weakness, who saw in Luna another manipulator, another destroyer of innocence, and whose hands joined Lee's around her throat, causing the young woman's desperate gurgles to fill the room as Katie screamed for them to stop. Bill struggled with his own conflicting urge to intervene or let this deranged avenger receive a punishment appropriate for her crimes. Another Brooke in a new body, so he squeezed harder, demanding that she confess, admit the hurt she had caused Will, and act as a stand-in for all the women who had destroyed his family. Meanwhile, Luna, choking and shrieking that she had only wanted love and never meant to hurt anyone, tried in vain to turn Thomas's rage into sympathy, but it was too late because, in the background, Ridge was still trying to calm his son, shouting his name and trying to pry him away, insisting that he should be the object of Thomas's rage, not Luna. However, Thomas was too far gone, hurling words like daggers at his father even as he strangled Luna. "Dad, you're to blame. You keep picking Brooke, and you allow people like her to ruin us. You don't even seem to care that you let Mom and I suffer." It took all of Bill's strength to throw himself into the fray, prying Thomas away while he collapsed in tears and Katie pulled Will protectively against her chest. And Ridge, trembling, horrified, realized too late that his indecision had once again set the stage for another tragedy, his son repeating a cycle of violence that had started long ago when Ridge himself had failed to set boundaries, failed to be a steady father, and failed to put family above desire. Now, here was Thomas, crying, torn between patricide and proxy murder, choking Luna as though punishing both his father and himself. The delicate balance of the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer families had been upended once more in that moment, with Thomas once again being labeled dangerous, Luna gasping for air but still alive, Ridge's reunion with Brooke already marred by his son's breakdown, Taylor retreating into heartbreak and rage, Eric left wondering if he had allowed disaster, Liam teetering uncertainly at the edge of it all, and Will, the innocent once again corrupted by adult chaos, silently vowing never to trust. Again, all while whispering that everything would be okay, even though nothing was okay. As the episode comes to an end, the question remains, has Thomas finally reached the point of no return? Has Luna survived only to plan her most twisted form of retaliation to date? Will Ridge ever own up to the devastation his decisions have caused? Or is this just the start of another cycle in which anger feeds into anger, betrayal feeds into betrayal, and the bold and the beautiful once again demonstrates that no one in this family is free from the grip of love and hate intertwined?